Good morning, students. Let's start our new topic, types of operating system. Before that, I want to recall that in previous class we studied about the definition of operating system. What is operating system? It is a program that acts as an interface between software and computer hardware. After that, we study about the functions of an operating system, and in that we take knowledge of 7 functions of operating system. First one was processor management, then memory management, after that device management, file management, security, error detection, and job scheduling. Here is one extra function of operating system is given, that is coordination between software and user. That is not given in your book, but you have to study about it also. And today, without wasting time, let's start our new topic, types of operating system. These are the types of operating system. Today we will study the very first single user operating system. Single user, it is clear from its name that the operating system which could support only one user to do one task at one time. Okay, so these operating systems could support only one user to do one thing at a time. The most popular single user operating systems were Microsoft Windows 3.1, then Microsoft Windows 95, and Microsoft DOS. These are the examples of single user operating system that could support only single user to do only one thing at a time. This is single user operating system. After that, we have graphical user interface. Graphical user interface means interface with the graphics. And what are our graphics? The graphical user interface is a type of operating system that makes use of windows, icons, menus, and pointers. These are used to create communication between user and the graphics that are shown on your system. User used to interact with, communicate with the icons, with the files, or we can say the graphics given on the screen. So the graphical user interface is a type of operating system that makes use of the following things. Icons and options on menus represent it folders, applications, and other commands which are activated when selected and clicked by the pointer. For example, you want to go to a particular folder which is in my computer. So how will you search for that my computer? You will see an icon on the screen which is given on the screen by my computer. You select it, or you will double click on it and then open it, and after that you will go to that file which you want to open. Simple. So how did you interacted with that particular folder? With the help of the graphics. Means there was an icon which is named my computer. You clicked on that and you go to that particular folder that you wanted. And our pointing device, mouse, is used to click on the screen. This operating system is graphic based and interactive in nature, means user friendly. Graphical user interface is something user friendly, means which is easy to interact with the system. User can feel very easy or comfortable to interact with the system. The commands have been replaced by graphic symbols displayed on the computer screens called icons. As I told you, icons are displayed on the desktop. After that, you choose that or you select that you used to double click on a particular icon to open that. After that, whatever kind of folder you want to choose, you want to open, you can go there. The user can perform all operations by clicking on these icons. And how do we click? With our pointing device, that is mouse. Now our user does not need to remember the lengthy commands or their syntax as they had to do in command line interface or character user interface. Some examples of graphical user interface are Windows operating system, Mac OS, Linux, etc. In our Microsoft Windows, whenever we start our computer, after that we used to see a desktop, a taskbar, a lot of icons on our screen. We can directly click on them and easily access those folders. So this is called the graphical user interface, which is easy for user or user friendly, so that we can interact with the system by these graphics. Next one is multi-user operating system. Now we are going to three similar things, but they are totally different from each other, but their name is similar, just like multi-user operating system, multitasking, multi-threading. So we have to make it clear from their names. It will be easy to remind. First one is multi-user operating system. Multi-user means multiple users. You can easily see that in diagram. A multi-user operating system is an operating system that allows multiple users on different computers or terminals to access a single system with one operating system on it. Means there is one operating system and there are multiple users on different computers. All the computers are using the same operating system, and the example of such operating systems are Windows NT, Windows Vista, Windows XP, Xenix. All these are the examples of our operating systems. Means there will be only one operating systems, a lot of users are there and different computers are there. This is the multi-user operating system. Some of the operating systems that fall in this category means some of the operating system that support multi-user, multiple users to use same computer at the same time. Such kind of multi-user operating system examples are given in your book, that is Linux, Unix and Microsoft Windows. Windows 2000 was the first version of Windows. Always keep in mind, if someone asks you what was the first version of Windows, that is Windows 2000, which allowed us to create several user accounts on a single machine. Means a lot of users, multiple users can create their accounts. A lot of accounts means on a single machine. A single machine can hold a lot of accounts on it with the help of multi-user operating system. Next one is multitasking. Multitasking, the ability to perform more than one task. Multitasking means multiple tasks, the ability to perform more than one task at single instant of time is called multitasking. An operating system that is capable of doing multiple tasks or executing processes while using common processing resources like CPU is a multitasking operating system. In previous lecture I told you that an example, I gave you an example, just like you are downloading 2 or 3 movies at same time. So what is that? That is the example of multitasking, that your system is doing multiple tasks at same time. So the ability to execute more than one task at the same time, a task being a program in multitasking, only one CPU is involved, only one CPU is there, but it switches from one program to another so quickly that it gives the appearance of executing of all the programs at same times. Means it switches from one program to another program. After the completion of the first one, it switches or it moves to another program. It provides the CPU to that particular file for executing the work or completion of task after finishing of one work or task. Next we have multi-threading. This is totally different from multi-user and multitasking. These are the operating systems that allow different parts of the application or program to run simultaneously. Means at the same time. The feature of multi-threading can delay the execution response of certain processes. For example, if you host a game server on LAN, means local area network, your friends will utilize a different part of same game by connecting with your machine at the same time. All the resource will be utilized from your machine, which can degrade the performance of your system. Okay, I will give you another example. Just like nowadays you are attending your online classes. Suppose that you are having only single phone at your home and your friend comes to your home. So your friend asks you to share your data with him. So what will you do? You will switch on the data. After that you switch on the hotspot option given in your phone, and your friend will turn on his Wi-Fi and connect to the internet access. So what will happen? It will make the performance of the internet in your phone low. The speed of your internet in your particular system or phone will degrade. It comes to down because you have shared your resource to someone else. So in the same way, this wants to say that you are hosting a game and you are sharing that with your friends in local area network. So what it will do? It will degrade, it will make the quality of that program or the performance of your system low. Okay, because you have shared your resources in local area network. I have another example for you in multi-threading. Just take an example. Suppose you are listening to a video on YouTube and at the same time you are downloading a video which is running in the background. So what will be the performance of your YouTube video? It's quite low because you have shared your resource into two batches. That comes into thread. You can easily see that thread. There are two processes and these are distributed into some threads. And what are these threads? These are the tasks which are performing in the background. So what it will do? It will make the performance of your system low. It will degrade your system. This is multi-threading operating system. That operating system which allows different part of an application or program to run simultaneously, means same time. At the same time you are doing 4 jobs. So what it will do? It will make the performance of your system very low. It will degrade the quality, the performance of your system. This is multi-threading operating system. Now next one is real-time operating system. Real-time operating system, you are familiar to it. Real-time operating system is designed to handle real-life scenarios and problems. I will tell you few examples so that it will be easy for you to understand what is real-time operating system. Next we have real-time operating system. Real-time operating system is designed to handle real-life scenarios and problems. Means something which is done in real time, or we can say that instantly, something you are doing instantly. Such operating systems have the capability to prioritize the processes, minimize the execution time, and work independently. They work independently. The execution time is minimum as much as possible. For example, whenever you book an air ticket online, you are actually communicating with a real time machine. You are interacting on real time machine, means you are going through the filling all the details. At the same time, you will get booking for your air ticket online, which is handling your data independently, giving you instant response, something you are getting instantly, and securing your information while maintaining the same features for all the other customers who are online at that. See this. I have few examples to teach you real-time operating system. Just like air traffic control system is there, reservation system that is used by hotels and car rental agencies, process control system as in nuclear reactor plants, system that provide up to the minute information on stock prices, system that provide immediately, something very immediately, updating of customer accounts in saving banks. These are the examples of real-time operating system. Next one, we have distributed operating system. Distributed operating systems run on computers which are located in different geographical areas. For example, a typical application is in bank, where all the branches have usually microcomputers. Banks use microcomputers which is linked to a big computer, something big computer at the head office. There are a lot of microcomputers that are linked to a big computer which is present at the head office. Okay, so the data from branches is sent to that master or big computer, where it is completely processed, or we can say that where the track of all the accounts is processed, where it keeps the whole record. Now our last topic is Windows 7. A Microsoft Windows is a series of graphical user interface, means it contains icons, few symbols on the desktop through which we can interact with our system, which was developed, marketed and sold by Microsoft. Windows 7 is a product of which company? Microsoft. Windows operating system was the first graphical user interface for IBM compatible PCs. IBM is a name of company, International Business Machine. IBM compatible PCs, personal computers, which soon dominated the PC market. Starting Windows. So this is the starting of Windows. Our Windows starts with the logo of Microsoft, and it is not compulsory that we are using only Windows operating system. There are a lot of operating system in the market, but we are studying about Windows 7. So this is the starting of Windows, Microsoft Windows 7. When you switch on your computer, Windows starts automatically and displays a welcome message. It is followed by the first screen of Windows known as desktop. This is desktop. That blue screen in the background is known as desktop. Here we can see that icons are there, It contains some graphic symbols and we call them icon. This is the desktop, which is in blue color. The word desktop is derived from the real life desktop. Desk, top. Desk means table, top means top of the table. So tell me, what are the things that are present at the top of the table? Pen, pencil, notepad, calculator, some files, pen stand, and a lot of stuff is there. So just like the same way, the desktop of Windows 7 is made such that the things which are present on the top of the table, that is related to that. The desktop of Windows 7 also serves the same purpose. You can find various icons like shortcut icons, document icons, disk drive icons, etc. on your computer's desktop. See, here is calculator, notepad, magnifier, paint. So all these are present at desktop. Now you can see that a taskbar is there at the bottom. So we have to study about that taskbar. This is given at the bottom. A taskbar is a long horizontal bar at the bottom of desktop. It has a start button. You can easily see the start button is there on the left side. The middle section of the bar shows buttons with a label for each of the opened application, just like quick launch icons, and allows us to quickly switch between them. You can activate the application window by clicking on its taskbar button. From there, if we click on the taskbar button, we can activate the application window. When an application is active, its button is highlighted in a lighter shade. We can see that here. Which file is open or active, the logo of that particular file or that application can be seen at the bottom, but in a lighter shade or blur. The right side of the taskbar is known as notification area. Our phone has some notification area also. So what are the things that are present in notification area? That is a clock which is showing the time, and group of icons that provide status and notifications about the things like updates. We got updates, network connectivity, incoming mails, battery, volumes, or some alert messages are also there. The show desktop button is present on show desktop button, that is given on the extreme right side of the taskbar. Simply placing the cursor on this button minimizes all the open windows that shows the desktop. Means it minimizes the open windows and it shows a clear desktop only. So this is our show desktop button. It is at the extreme right side after notification area. So we have successfully completed our chapter session 1 operating system. So read about this chapter. I will share this PDF with you, and after that we will complete its question answers.